I saw my father's engine, car engine, a whole engine. I regret it till this day, but I asked for forgiveness from him. So we cool with my dad. I saw my father's engine. I couldn't sleep at night. I can constantly hear voices, thinking that people are coming for me. People are coming to actually kill me.
Sanbonan Lapimakaya, welcome to another episode of the Hope Revolution podcast. I'm your host, Unomcebo Wagayaga, a sister that is always here to listen to your story and engage with you. In this podcast, we explore and address topics that are often overlooked and impactful in our society. Topics that actually are unique to both women and men. Please do not forget to subscribe and hit that notification button because we'll be posting every week. So I'm hoping that you do not want to miss any episode. If you want to contact us, you'll find our contact numbers down below. We have a gentleman in studio who is here to share his story with us. Welcome to the studio. Please tell us, who are you? And just tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Thank you for having me. Nomnebo.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate you guys. So, my name is Sifiso Ganga. I'm from Alexander Township, north of Johannesburg. I'm actually turning 34 years old in the next 3 weeks.
Okay.
So shout out to that. I'm born and raised in Alex, and mostly I spend most of my time or most of my life in the township. So I'm a township boy. I'm a closer by tradition from both families. So in a nutshell, I would say that I was actually raised in a good family with a father and a mother raising me up available. You don't have most of both parents in a family nowadays. So I was very fortunate enough to actually be brought up by both my parents. And I actually went to a boys' school, which is something interesting about me. I also became a DJ once in my life, there and there. But this whole concept, or the whole reason why I actually came to the show, was to actually share my story. So, my story is about substance abuse and how I was able to overcome the difficulties or the dark space that I was in during my addiction. So, just to kick it off, like any other person, obviously, I was born in a very Christian or maybe belief system. I went to church most of my childhood days. So I would start actually noticing or maybe pick up where the addiction started from an early age. So you know how we actually brought up African families. I'm sure now you have visited your cousins there and there. So in my actually state, we were actually visiting my grandmother's place. This is in Forsley, the East Rand of Joburg. So we'd go there in December, with your cousins, just chill. So because now there was no adult supervision available, we used to actually supervise ourselves. We used to do whatever we wanted to do. So we got exposed to alcohol from an early age. I'm telling you, we were actually drinking by the age of 13, which is like uncalled for. The rules of the state or the rules of the country state that alcohol should be served to people over the age of 18. So being able to actually get access to alcohol from an early age, that is disturbing on its own. You understand? So now it became a norm for us to meet up and also include alcohol in our circle. Coming from a closer family, every time we have like ceremonies, yabona, imisebenzi endlini, into ezinjalo, there's liquor everywhere. Like alcohol is exposed everywhere. So also it played a big role in me adapting this new identity of drinking to have a good time. It escalated to high school now, because now during the holidays I'm with my cousin. When the schools open, I'm at school. Now I'm influencing other kids that I go to school with. And then we used to bunk school. We used to do bunkers party, ditch school, buy alcohol, get drunk. And just like that, I just adapted a new identity in my life. So now I'm actually living in a sense of pleasing the crowd or a sense of belonging, if you understand what I'm saying. Because now, whatever I was doing, I was actually trying to fit with a specific group of people. Never. So, by God's grace, I was able to pass my matric year throughout all the drinking and everything. And I'm a big music fanatic. I listen to music. And then I actually became a DJ from an early age. I'm telling you, like 18 years, I would start DJing in pubs, taverns. So I would actually get paid with alcohol. Again, it actually got intense. It got to a point that I couldn't remember a weekend without actually drinking alcohol. So now, as it escalates, they actually say that new levels, new devils. You understand? So the more I grew up, the more dangerous people actually hang around. So now it was not only alcohol, because I needed something also to actually keep up the hype. Because we used to DJ like 3 days in a row. So to keep that up, I got introduced to other substances now. So you'd see guys going to bathrooms in clubs. Obviously, you're curious, right? You're drunk, you want to go there. So I ended up being hooked on cocaine and also cat. I'm not sure if you know cat, but it's something that you sniff that gives you energy for the next 7 hours. You won't sleep. It comes in a powder form. And now I have two things now. When I'm drinking, I have to have this specific drug just to keep on with this lifestyle that I actually chose. This went um, on for 7 years. So I would bounce back, get a job, but I didn't last much because the moment I get paid, I would actually not come to work. Then I would AWOL, you understand? And I would get fired because now this guy is not coming at work. He's not coming to work on every Monday that he gets paid. So it becomes a thing, a track, the record that I'm actually leaving behind. So I decided, you know what, I'd rather leave the work environment alone because now I'm applying more pressure than I can keep up on. And obviously, new levels, new devils, right? Now I went to the more darker side, so I dived in very, very deep this time. Um, this drug was actually established or made famous in the USA back in the 80s. It's called crack cocaine. I don't know if you know it. So terms for this drug, elokishini, bayibiza nge-rock, ilitshe, you understand? So this is actually cocaine residue and then froze and mixed with bicarbonate of soda to form that solid substance. So one thing about this drug, you only take one pull and then it's over. And then you need to get another one. And you're constantly chasing that feeling that you were actually chasing with the first one. So number one, you're losing a lot of money in a short period of time. I remember I used to blow 2,000 rand in the next 3 hours, just like that. Because now I'm generous. I can't smoke alone. I'm smoking with everyone. So that actually started to now show in my appearance now that, you know what, this guy is not the same guy that you knew. I started isolating myself from friends, family. When there's like family gatherings, I'm never there. When there's family funerals, people used to ask, well, where is this guy? Why is he not coming to these functions? So what I noticed is that addiction in its old sense is addiction is selfishness disguised in an action. So it isolated me from people that I loved. I have a son who is actually turning 10 years on the 24th of October this year. So sadly, 2017, the mother of my child actually passed away around December. That was like the nail on the coffin. It actually destroyed me. I don't want to tell you lies. That's why in December, I don't like December because now it brings back those memories. So it's like, I think it's 7 years ago this happened. So after actually experiencing that traumatic, or maybe rather facing the traumatic experience, now I have a 2-year-old. The mother is not there. I'm a single parent. I'm in addiction. I'm in a very dark space. I don't have a job. People don't trust me, especially people from home. Um, my relationship with my mom and my dad was like tarnished. They didn't trust me because now I went from working to stealing from home and selling. I sold everything. I won't lie to you. I even sold my clothes. I sold everything that I owned. Possessions, I didn't care because now I'm trying to feed this craving that I have. On a daily basis, I would go through 500 rands just to keep up with my cravings, just to keep up with this addiction. So back in around Corona time, 2020, I came to a realization when it was hard to get access to cigarettes because we had laws most with the Corona, you can't get cigarettes at a specific time frame. So that actually made me realize that you know what, I don't need cigarette to actually go through life. I don't need cigarette as such. So I started noticing that I can be able to let go of other things that are actually binding me. And then I tried to reach out to my sister. I have two sisters, by the way. My older sister is 5 years older than me. She's married. She lives in Secunda. And my youngest sister is, excuse me, 32 years old. And so I've been talking to my older sister. I was like, you know what, sis? I'm tired of this life. You know? I really wanna change. I really wanna stop what I'm doing because now it went from a happy habit to something that I do and then I regret. I like to use this methodology. You want to stick so many shares, no? The brown part is so little as compared to the white part. So addiction or satisfaction is only that small brown part, and then the other white part is actually regret that you feel or resentment of what am I doing, you know? So um, my sister tried by her all means to get me help. So fortunately, my breakthrough actually came through last year. No? So last year I was working for Clientele Life Licensing. I was in the reinstatement department, doing good, making sales, making money, but my money actually angazi ukuthi imali yamphelela kuphi kahle kahle yabo. And I was like, you know what, this is it. I need to do something or else it's gonna lead to something worse. Because now I'm thinking about my son. My son is getting old. Yabo. I don't want him to grow up in a sense of I'm ashamed of my father. And I'm the only parent that he has. So fortunate enough, my sister came through. He called. I beg your pardon. She called me around April last year. I was like, "Yo, bro, if you're serious, get your things together. Come through in Pumalang, yabo. There's a place for you." So I'm like, "Okay, not a problem." You must understand. At that time, I was also in a relationship with a girl that I met at work. It was a serious one, but because now of the addiction, it wasn't that healthy because now I used to mislead money that we planned for. And I really hurt her so much because now whatever plans we had for the future, it was then tarnished because she couldn't trust me anymore. You know? Whatever I spoke or whatever promises that I made, it was just worthless. She couldn't believe because now the man that I've actually become is not the man that she wanted me to be. So I was like, at first, I won't lie to you. At first, I wanted to go to rehab just to get her confirmation, just ukuthi sokwazi ukulungisa relationship. But I tried, and then I actually realized that you know what, this has to come from me. So I was clocked, or maybe rather, I put myself in on the 8th of May. Ngafika Sekunda. It was late actually. I was traveling with my brother-in-law. Okay, now you must understand. I'm from a city, né? And I'm all the way to Mpumalanga, in the middle of nowhere. This is like a farmhouse. Yabo. The only thing that you can see is the Sasol building or the Sasol tank that you see there in Secunda. So Secunda is a place. It's a place that was actually created or maybe built by FHA Sasol just to accommodate people that work there. So in most cases, the white people more than black people. A lot of people that are successful you find in there Secunda. First day rehab, yo, I was like, okay, this place. What am I supposed to expect? Number one, I wasn't sure how long is this going to take or how long is this program. I only realized on the third day, would say, this place, we actually house you for 6 months. Now I'm like, yo, 6 months. 6 months is a lot. If you can Google now, most rehabs, they house you for,
Three.
the longest might be 3 weeks, you understand? But now 6 months, that's half a year gone. So I had an introspection with myself, we see, compare 6 months in addiction outside and 6 months here trying to change your life. So I was like, you know what, let me do it. So I didn't want to become selfish to the girl that I was dating. So I told her, Guti, as in, it's going to be selfish for me to expect you to wait for me while I go and fix my life.
Yeah.
So I did the most broadest thing I could ever do. So I told her to move on. But in the back of my mind, I was hoping she won't, because now I love this chick. You know what I mean? So okay, I'm in rehab now. My mom says, "Do you really do you want us to send you a carton of cigarettes? Because you can be able to smoke cigarettes." So it's on that point that I was able to say, you know what? Why would I go to rehab and still smoke cigarettes? You understand? So I was like, you know what? From this day, I'm committing that I will never smoke cigarettes again. Yeah, bro. I was one of the, I think it's only 1% of the guys in rehab that don't smoke cigarettes. Yeah, bro. So because of that, now I had certain advantages or maybe certain um, benefits at rehab. I was gonna be able to get groceries sent in from outside and whatnot. But the 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 breakthrough actually came through the lessons, because now this is not a normal rehab. This is like a Bible based
Yes.
sort of like sense. I know you must understand. Mina, I come from a background. Yama party, piano, Zawa every weekend. I wasn't a church person. I never actually cared or wanted to go to church for the longest of time. So with that being said, we see, we actually go to church 6 times a week. Uleanda ulea, yabo. I won't lie, it was hard. Um, I hated the songs. When they worship, I was like, yo, 3 songs, one down, two to go. And then out of the mist, I was like, I need to actually try and open myself up.
Visiting your cousins. How was your childhood when you were growing up?
So growing up, I was a soccer boy. I love soccer with all my heart. So my favorite team obviously is Orlando Pirates, and I grew up participating in sports, whether it's athletics, soccer, I was actually good in cricket. So I was more an outdoor type of child. When I went home, I'm the only boy, so I've got two sisters that are with me. They are always taking care of me because now I'm the only guy there. And then my mother was a very strict person, as all African mothers are. So my mom would like beat me if maybe I lost my shoe at school, but those are ways to actually mend or maybe just teach your children values, which I totally disagree in this left that we actually live in right now. So I was I was a very happy child because I'm a middle child. I went to school. I did go to school. I was an A student. I excelled in English and mathematics. I showed I showed like I'm gonna be like someone bright in the future, because now the way I was so involved with extramural activities at school, also drama, choir. So I was a hands-on type of child at school. I never was laid back. So that's how my upbringing as a child was.
So the relationship between, you said
Sisters
you grew up with your mother
and my father.
available and your father available in your
Yes.
life. So how was your relationship with your parents?
My parents, it was hard, hey? You must notice, but because this is back in the 90s. This was before GPV was actually televised or anything like that. So I experienced NAMI GPV at an early age for my mom and my mom and my father, in most cases, which has then scarred me also, yabo, to see that type of behavior from an early age. Um, but I would never actually try to pin whatever experience as a young kid or maybe as a kid to blame it now because now I'm old. It's because of 1, 2, 3 that I actually am this way. Because now, as a person, the more you mature, you make your decisions. If you want to be depressed, you want to be depressed. So yeah, the environment it wasn't that nice at times because now my father was using alcohol excessively. He used to drink every weekend. My mom was struggling from job to job, you know? And then it was a bittersweet upbringing. But I actually try to remember by all times all the sweet parts of my upbringing more than the horrible stuff that I actually enjoyed.
And what is it that you think your parents um, did not do well?
Well, interacting, and I love that question because now I can see it firsthand. I'm a parent now. I can be able to spot that. You know what? My parent was lacking in that specific department. So interacting with your kid, find out how your kid is. So me, I have a thing with my son. We do a checkout. So every night before we go to sleep or before we pray, we just talk. How was your day? Find out how he's feeling. What was his struggles? Be invested in his life so that when he eventually come across problems, he can be able to open up to me because when I was young, I wasn't able to open up to my mom because imagine yourself, yo, I'm gonna get a hiding, yeah. So they were very strict and firm back in the days, bringing us up as compared to now. Because now I can realize, Muti, that part of raising your child, or maybe that method that they were using, it wasn't, or maybe it didn't bring the best result of a child. So that's the difference, or maybe that's what I picked up from your question.
What what encouraged you to drink alcohol? Was it an influence from your cousins? Was it more of a peer pressure? Was it a voluntary thing that to say, "Good, I want to try that"?
All those, you see all those three things,
Yes.
though all those three things that you just mentioned, sense of belonging, because now you don't want to be that weird cousin on the corner, you understand? You want to be also popular, you want to be looked at like, yo, this guy is cool. So sense of belonging, peer pressure played a big role in it, and also confirming to the wrong identity. As human beings, I believe that we need to take our identity very seriously, because now if you don't have a personal identity that guides you and your morals, you adapt any other person's morals, whoever you see on the street. Maybe a malume opemezang or molelo ya muntu o tsetsang phuza mapia every weekend. You tend to adapt to those identities and then make them your own. Yabo?
Okay. And what made you realize that now it's the time to say, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't want this anymore. What really took place in your life that was an eye opening to say, this needs to stop?
So I remember it very, very clear. It's something that happened 22 years ago. I went to a psychosis for 3 days. So I mixed crystal meth and crack cocaine, and then I went crazy mentally. Because now, if you, the more you smoke and you don't sleep, get enough rest, your mind tends to play tricks with reality. You don't know what's real, you don't know what's fake. So now normal people actually see you as like, I think this guy has lost his mind. So I went to that state. Oh, now I think I'm losing my mind because now I'm seeing things that are not there. And it was so scary seeing my mother cry because of that. She thought it was over or something like that, because now I completely changed. My mind shifted to another sense of reality or sense of realm, because now I couldn't sleep at night. I can constantly hear voices thinking that people are coming for me, people are coming to actually kill me. I didn't want to live like that. So my breaking point, or I came to a realization when I hit rock bottom, and that was that part when I actually went into psychosis.
What is one or two things that you sold at home that, in a way, that you wanted to actually feed your addiction? What are the one or two things that you sold that are very close
I
to
saw
your?
my father's engine, car engine, a whole engine. I regret it till this day, but I asked for forgiveness from him. So we cool with my dad. I saw my father's engine. I saw my mother's phone. I saw everything. There's nothing that I didn't sell. I even sold everything that I owned. You understand? I only had one. Um, how can I put it? I only could be able to actually wear one type piece of pants or clothing for one day. I didn't have like two trousers. I only had one trouser. It came to that point with Angsena next. So now this actually created a untrustworthy relationship with my mother, because now I wasn't able to be trusted again, or ukuthi manje bangishiye nini. You understand? So I lost a lot of trust for my mom, which I'm still trying to regain at this point of my recovery even.
An engine, my brother.
A whole engine.
A whole engine.
Let me tell you something about, yeah, when I crack cocaine, you can become Superman. If you want it, you will carry that engine.
So who helped you took out this engine? Because
No, the thing is,
I'm very curious. I
you
want to
know,
know.
it's a it's a old van, Dodge or
Okay.
something like that. It wasn't that heavy, that engine. I don't know if it was missing another part, if it was missing a gearbox, but it was just an engine. I could carry it for a couple of steps. Yabo. So what I did was, I wanna lavanta bakhirezayo estradini bahamba ngamatroli.
Yes.
I got a hold of one guy. I was like, okay, park here, nah, your thing, your trolley.
Okay.
Yeah, let me get this thing quickly and then sifaka lapha. And this is daylight. Yabo.
Okay.
I did that because when you're in addiction, you don't care what people think or say. You just want to feed that need that you want. So I carried it as skinny as I was, because I wasn't like this. I was super skinny. I was super skinny. So I carried it, and then I got something like 200 rands from that engine, which probably might have cost something like 1,000 something, or even more, give or take. That's the extent that I was actually going for. I couldn't care less if maybe what I'm selling, the value of it is actually less. I sold a hair dryer that's probably like 500 rands and 60 rand, just to get the specific fix. Yeah, bro. So yeah, it's a whole
Hey,
other
no,
thing that I
nani
sold.
matla man. There is something that I want to understand. So when you had your cousins around, you were combining money, I guess, like nyakazata, for having that particular substance, which is alcohol, around that time. So in that circle of your cousins, or in that group of your
Yeah,
cousins, were you all
contributing.
underage, or
Yes.
there was that one particular person that was available to go buy alcohol? And if you were all underage, which store was selling, or who's this person in your community that was selling you this
Yeah.
alcohol?
So you must understand, this took part 2002, 2002, 2003. That was long ago. So we varied in age. You know? Obviously, my sisters were a bit older than us. You know?
Okay.
But they necessarily didn't allow, or maybe we didn't send our sisters to go buy, because now obviously they will say no because they're older than us. In most shops, or how can I put it, township establishments where they sell alcohol, they don't care if this is a minor that they are selling from, as long as they get money. You understand? So we would go, Tina, as little as we are, 14 years old, 15 years old, and buy alcohol for ourselves. Because number one, they didn't ask us for an ID. They didn't ask who's this alcohol is for, because now society has made it so welcome, or maybe so
It's a norm
available to us, because now you
yes
get older people sending young kids
to
to buy
buy.
alcohol as if they are sending them to the store. You know? So even that actually opened up a gate, or a gateway for us to be able to get access to alcohol.
So take me to the rehab. Your first day at rehab. You've
Yo,
never been there. How
in the
was it?
farmlands.
How was it?
Yo, now a classic guy is in the farms. Because the drug that I was smoking, it wasn't that intense that you would actually see by looking at me that this guy is a drug addict. Yabo. It was not as intense as heroin in Yaope or crystal meth. When I got there, I was, life changing experience. A lot of homeless people, white homeless people, abusing substance, especially heroin. Heroin is the number one substance that makes people actually lose hope in actually becoming better or maybe recovering. Because now the withdrawal of heroin is very painful. What I've noticed. So first day rehab, still not sure how many days I'm gonna stay here. I'm just trying to get this whole setup, this environment in my head. I saw a couple of guys who were vomiting at night, who couldn't sleep, who were sweating while it's cold, who were feeling hot while it's cold, who was actually like your body's reacting to now withdrawing from all the drugs that you actually put inside your body.
Yes.
And it was scary because now you see it firsthand. We say people might actually lose their lives just to come off the drug. My first day in rehab wasn't that intense. The second day, saw a guy. So there was a guy from Netherlands. Ne? He locked himself up in Monte Casino Hotel. So they came. They went to fetch him. They have an intervention team. They went to fetch him. He was tripping off cocaine. Ne? And then he started visualizing or seeing like he started seeing snakes crawl all over his body. So he started cutting his body parts like razor. So there was blood everywhere. They took him to hospital. They sent him to rehab. Now you must notice, Uti, this guy's from another country. He's in a different place. He's confused. He couldn't sleep at night. So I was like, I don't think this place is for me, because now I don't feel safe now. What if I get stabbed, or what if these guys actually? It was not a good space for me in the first couple of weeks when I went to rehab because now, bengasafuni uzibona nglaphaya. So just by the only thing that made me be comfortable is talking to people and hearing different stories. Which okay, he suffered from which drug, and then you won't believe this, guys. The number one drug that kills people the most. Would you guess what it is?
No, you can tell me.
Alcohol.
Yeah.
Alcohol is the number one killer because now road accidents, GPV violence, and also alcohol withdrawal. It's very intense. People are losing their lives over alcohol, which made me to come to a decision that you know what, from now on, I'm actually cutting that from my life. Yabo?
So while you're at the rehab and you are seeing all the things that are happening, didn't you reach a stage of saying, no, I'm changing my mind. I don't want to be here.
Yeah, because now you must. Rehab is like school. They are a group of people. They are against the system or whatever that's happening in rehab, and then there are those who are actually positive about the outcome. But the positive ones outweighed the ones who didn't want to be in that place. So me, I'm grown up. I can make decisions for myself.
Yes.
It's either I join the people who are depressed and don't
God.
want anything to do, or try to open up my heart and try to do something to change Ule Rehab. So I chose the other option, the hard option. Now, because choosing the easy option won't get you anywhere. I chose the hard option to surrender and also to find out what's in it for me. Because I don't think I deserve living life in addiction. I don't think anyone deserves to be living life in addiction. So it's the choice that I made, which as in, I want to try something new, something I've never tried. I've never been to rehab in my life. I don't think I'm going to be going back anytime soon. So I chose, this is important. Rehab will only work if you actually choose to recover. Because now you can't send a person to rehab by force. You won't accomplish anything. I was with guys who are returning for the eighth time in the same rehab center. Imagine doing 6 months, going out 2 weeks, and then relapsing, coming back. it's not guaranteed which rehab is going to work. It only depends on the person, which how far are they willing to surrender and open up and realize which they're not going anywhere in life in. Yabo? So I took a stand, which I'm not only doing this for myself. I now was putting my son first.
Yes.
All the people that are messed up in my life, in my circle, my mom's, my family. So I didn't want to disappoint them further because now if I go out this place and I'm not healed, there's no life for me worth living outside.
So after losing the mother of your child,
Yeah.
did it push you to take more substance,
Oh, obviously.
or did it came to your senses to say, now the mother of my child is not here, these are the footsteps I need to take?
Yo, I went the first one, the first option. I blamed God for everything. I didn't understand how can you do this, because she actually passed on because of ulcers. Yeah, ulcers can actually kill you, and also alcohol abuse lead to ulcers. People don't go to clinic and get tested because now it's not in our imagine people are not comfortable to
Yeah.
find out what's going on in their body. If the mother of my child would have checked Uti,
Yes.
how's her health, she would have avoided death. You understand? She only went to hospital for 2 days and then she passed away. When they viewed the autopsy, it was ulcer. Her ulcer actually burst 2 weeks before she actually passed away. She could even feel ama intestines were inside while she was still alive. So it's something that ngathini, ignorance, negligism. When you're a human being, you need to take care of yourself. When you see people running, exercising, you mustn't like take them for granted. You must make sure that you try by all means to live a healthy life. Find out what's happening within you in your body to avoid such unforeseen events. You know?
How did she relate to your state of using substance? Was she there to motivate you to say no, don't do this, this is wrong, or it was a situation of do whatever, it's your life?
We were in a relationship for 5 years. She was totally against me using substances up until the point that we started using together.
Okay.
So we then used drugs together. It went from Wunkuza, Wusangjoy.
So would you say that there was some sort of peer pressure that was applied
Exact.
by you?
Yes, I manipulated my way for her to use drugs because now I made her use cat cocaine, a cat, because now she couldn't keep up with my drinking because when I drink, I don't I don't get tired. I don't sleep. I drink like 2 3 days in a row just to keep up with that. I told her the only way you're gonna stay awake is if you take this, and then she tried it, and then that was my fault actually. I manipulated her into taking drugs. A lot of people, even relationships, some people tend to manipulate their partners because now they see how vulnerable they are, and then they take advantage of that situation and then try to work it towards their advantage. That's what happened actually.
How old is your son now?
On the 24th of October, he's turning 10 years old.
Have,
He was 2 years
okay.
when the mom passed away.
And then have you ever had a conversation? I believe at 10 years, they have a little clue about what's happening in life. They know
Me,
what's wrong, they know what's
I
right.
didn't beat around the bush. I'm a straightforward guy. I didn't want my son to be told by people on the street. I talked about her mom passing. Since from he was 2 years, I know he didn't understand, but I made it a normal, or maybe I made it a norm for us to have a conversation. He asked me questions. I used to tell him, "Mama, one, two, three, four." He's like, this is therapy for him and for me as well, because now I'm also letting go of some things that I keep inside. So we talk about her. He wants to find out more because he was young. He doesn't remember anything. So ngiyamtshela each and every time, okay, your mom was doing this to you. He was happy with you. Used to do this, like bathe you, whatever the case may be. So now I've been a little picture with, wow, my mom actually loved me, and be at peace, yabo, with that. But I'm fortunate enough because the mother side of the family and my family are so connected, are so well connected. Like we are one family, yabo. So that's one thing that I'm fortunate about. But I do make it a point to which we speak about her. She's never forgotten actually.
Wow, that's lovely. So you're enjoying this fatherhood
Oh, it's the
relationship.
best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah,
Best thing ever. Because now, yo, I planned my pregnancy. I told my baby, manje,
you want a baby.
yeah, you know. The first day I saw my son, oh my God, I think I saw the light. Another reason, he played most reasons why I wanted to change because now I want us to have an unbreakable relationship. That's my life partner, by the way. Yes, I have to get a girlfriend and a partner and get married, but that's my number one because he was with me through thick and thin. When no one was there, when my struggles, he was there. Even when I felt guilty, returning back from home, from using drugs for the whole past couple of weeks and not seeing him, when I return home, I'll be like, are you angry at me? He's like, no, I can't be angry at you. You're my father and I love you. That used to hit me very hard. With you. I need to man up now.
No,
And what's Castle Gala's pretty.
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. It's nice to see that there are fathers who are enjoying and loving the fatherhood relationship
It's
with
the
their
best thing ever.
children because sisakula we most of us is kula, you know,
Yeah,
mamulena, babulena,
yeah.
but um, a lot of fathers are coming up front. A lot of fathers are saying, Guti, I just don't want to support you financially, but I want to be there physically on your growth. And it's really a beautiful thing. Um, there is a gentleman who's currently trending by, I think he's called Mr. Mloto,
Yeah, I
who
know him.
is who is taking people who are in an addiction of any substance by force. Would you say that will would you say that can help our generation? Do you think that can help our generation?
Definitely sure. I'm with Mr. Mlot on this one because now I'm from the situation of seeing people brought in rehab by force or without their consent. Rehab addiction. Addiction is not you. It's a certain entity has taken over you. You understand? So some other times we need force just to actually make you face reality. Because now, when you are in that same, if you are home and nothing is being intervened, you are hurting whoever is around you, like your mom, yabo. Seeing you like that is not fun for them. I believe that while the person is being sent to rehab, the parents needs counseling now to also heal from whatever they experienced from each trauma because of my edits. So I'm definitely with. I wish Kuti someone would fund him to open up more branches across South Africa, and then so that he can be able now Uti, to save other people because now whatever he's doing, some other people obviously might have a negative connotation. Why is he taking people out of their own consent? Some people don't realize with they have problems. Some people need to be intervened. Some people need to be forced out of a hard place. They're not that fortunate enough to realize which has whatever I'm doing is hurting this other person. So yeah,
So taking them by force, do you think even if they come back from the rehab, won't they go back? Do you think there is a slight chance of them going back, or it's definitely something which you feel that they can go to the rehab, they can be fine, they can move on, they can be normal and stay away from any substance that they are taking? Or is it something that, remember, you volunteered? It was a situation of you saying, I'm done, I want a better life now. But what about a person who's not there yet, who are saying that I'm still enjoying this thing, I'm not planning to leave anytime soon? Do you think that taking them by force might have a positive impact?
it's a very good question. Nah, I will tell you that. I want to um, make an example. Rehab and rehabilitation, recovery is so similar to marriage. Remember back in the days, especially the Zulu culture, nah, they used to take women by force and have them married to a specific older guy. That thing was happening and it was made normal to society. And then eventually it became a normal thing. You understand? So you would take someone out of their own, out of from their own will to actually do something that they don't want, and eventually they be comfortable in that marriage. So rehab and recovery, it's something that you do on a daily basis, because now in marriage, now when you wake up in the morning, you decide, are you going to be happy and miserable in your marriage, or are you going to be like looking forward and trying the best. Even rehab doesn't stop in the actual center. Rehab happens each and every day. When you wake up in the morning, you choose the life that you're going to live. It doesn't stop. I'm going to be in this recovery up until I die. I would mind just simply dealing with it. Now I'm done. No, it's not like that. That's why other people relapse. It's because they don't have that mentality or realization that rehab is a working, is a everyday to day working psyche that you need to familiarize yourself with. When you brush your teeth in the morning, it's something that you adapted as a habit, right? Rehabilitation and recovery is a habit that you adapt within your identity, within the life that you are living. So it's a decision that you make on a daily basis. Like, okay, Mina, I choose to live in this specific way. I choose to live um, re, with these guiding morals or guiding um, activities that I want to take apart. So it's a decision more than something that you accomplish. It's not a certificate which
Yeah.
we are done. When you go out, you won't be relapsing again. No, it's a day to day thing that you constantly work on.
How would you feel if you were have to stay with a drug addict now?
So a drug addict, Mina, I'm a straightforward guy. Yabo. I will I will make I will set clear expectations as to the relationship that I'm expecting to have with that specific person. Yabo. If they choose, I would say they want to change their life, then I'm with that. But if they choose to go the other way, then unfortunately I can't be able to actually support or be in that specific circle. And the other thing, when you go out of rehab, you need to change your environment. Never. You can't be hanging around the same places you were hanging around while you were in an addiction. Hence the fact that I was telling you that when I actually went out of rehab, I came to a realization that I don't want to come back or return to the same area. I made up in my mind that I want to move to another environment so that I can be able to now have a clear mind as to what to do forward with my recovery, with my new life, because it's a new life now that you're living, and you have to believe that it's a new life.
Are there signs that parents and people who are living with addicts need to take into consideration? Like, what signs can one look if maybe you see that something is not going well with this particular person? What are the things to look at?
Another good question. The most obvious thing, isolation. Let's say we take a guy who used to have friends, who used to go out partying, who used to have girlfriends, a social life. Now he's isolating himself. You barely see him. You only see him maybe 2 a.m. in the morning or 12 a.m. Now he's living like a zombie or maybe like a vampire. So number one is isolation. Parents need to pick up their children's behavior, especially when they isolate themselves. When you isolate yourself from your siblings, when you're constantly fighting with your parents, not always having peace within you, and also body loss. I mean body weight loss. When you pick up with your eye, man, there's something wrong. I think you are sick. Understand? Because you can tell a person with eye, this is not your normal body. What's going on? So isolation and physical appearance is something that they need to actually take account for.
All right. Going back to you realizing that this thing is definitely not for you, did it come to your mind that I'm taking this and I don't want to go back, right? You're telling yourself, I don't want to go back. So, in a way, that you have already, before you become a drug addict, you have a circle of friends that maybe you smoke with, you chill with. How did you fix that circle? How did you move out of that circle?
So with me, my parents on its own. Yeah, if you could bump into a guy like me in a shady place with needles and pipes and everything, first thing that will come into your mind, what are you doing here?
Mm.
Like a person like you. Most of the people used to tell me that you don't belong in this place.
Mm.
Also, hearing that over and over again, it plants a seed in your mind with time. And why am I doing this if people see me better off? You
Yeah.
understand? So that's how I was able to break through from that circle, or actually remove myself from that circle because I didn't have a sense of belonging.
So as a DJ, your stage name for DJ?
The Pro Delinquent Project. I used to actually DJ no Kabza back in
Oh, really?
2011. Yeah, Okabza lived nearby my neighborhood. He used to go to Sandringham High School. So I fell in love with music, man. House music was everything to me because it was like therapeutic for me. I enjoyed watching people have a good time. So I was a fun guy to be around. I used to start parties. I used to host concerts. So actually, my mom saw something that would embark into a business. If I was serious with my DJing, I would have been far from it by now. But I don't want to regret what would have happened. But I enjoyed that part of my life, and I still, hence these earphones. I love music with all my heart.
But don't you think you still stand a chance?
I do, but now coming to why I don't actually. So in rehab, I came to a realization. So this is a punchline for my whole story. You know, I opened up my life to Christ. For the first time of my life, I wanted something more. So I think it was around August last year. So when we worship in rehab, we it's a big hall. There's a TV. We worship on online, vele, YouTube, and then we turn off the lights, sort of like an ambience that we build in. Yeah. And I remember the name of the song was "Too Good to Not Believe" by Brendan Lake. I love the song. I still have it right now on my phone. So as I was worshiping, with the song, something happened. I actually had an encounter with God on that specific moment because now I couldn't sing anymore. The words couldn't come out of my mouth. And then tears started coming down from my eyes. I don't know where they're coming from. Like, what's going on with me? That then there, I noticed that there was something from the higher power that actually touched me. That was the Holy Spirit saying, you know what? You've been seeking me. Here I am. And that is so powerful because now I felt a weight
Yeah.
being lifted from my shoulder. And the more I searched for God, the more I found answers to all the things that happened to me in the past, my childhood ways, why I was experiencing these type of things, coming now to this point right now that I'm in right now. Um, that I won't forget that day. It was on the 27th of August.
Yeah.
My life changed. I surrendered myself to Christ, and I wanted more, from Him. Every time I tell people about this story, I get so emotional. It's lucky now that I'm actually strong enough not to cry, but
Yeah.
it's something that was life changing for me. And also, it actually helped me to say no to the past life that I was actually living. Because at the back of my mind, in rehab, I was like, I can't wait to get out here and start using again when I started the rehab program. But after I had an encounter with God, I would say for a fact, whoever wants to open up a rehab or whoever wants to recover from a rehab, they need to put Christ in that whole process because now, number one, you get a new identity. Now you know who you are, and then that's how you're gonna be able to change life. And then also, I've noticed Uguti, whatever struggles I was going through, it was not only for me to experience, but it's for me to save other people out there. Yeah,
Okay. And what message can you give to a boy child or a girl child that is growing now and currently they are exposed to such but from a distance, right? What message can you give them?
easy, man. Because I'm a father, I would just tell them as if I'm speaking to my son. Being cool is not everything. Being cool is overrated. Being cool is the past things that we used to do back in the days. Um, the only cool thing you can do in life that will last forever is knowing who Jesus is. Because through Jesus is where you can be able to seek identity of who you truly are, who you came to be in this lifestyle, so that you can be able to also serve. We are people that are brought on earth to serve. That's why we are called a community of people. There's no person who is allowed to be living alone or in isolation. Whatever struggles that you are going through is not for you, it's
Yeah.
for someone else to also be uplifted from it. So from a young age, seek Jesus more. You'll find prosperity, you'll find peace than you can ever imagine. You won't need alcohol and drugs once you know who Christ is. So I would say just pick up your cross and take to salvation. Church is a new cool nowadays. Never.
And what do you think can be done, or which prevention can be used at schools where there is a use of substance abuses? Children or kids are coming with weed at school. They're coming with alcohol at school. What do you think can be done to prevent that?
I would say instilling better support structures, better activities, because now we must recognize why are people smoking drugs. It's because they don't have anything to do with their extra time. You know, so I would say try to encourage kids to open up businesses. What we do right now, podcast, talking about like life challenges.
Yeah.
Any extra mural activities that you can be able to think of. I mean, these things were told from an early age, but you can tell people as much as you can. It only depends on the person's choice, or which are they with it or not with it. The only time we're gonna be able to live an honest life is if you be honest with yourself. You let's not lie to ourselves, especially when we are young. When we are young, we are vulnerable of our environment because now we are in school, we have friends, you get dragged into, or maybe just pulled into wrong groups because now you just want to fit in. Look at the crisis of teenage pregnancy that's going through right now. Some other people, some other like schools, they do allow children that are pregnant to actually come to school. That's something that's disturbing to see, in my opinion. I wouldn't want, if I had a daughter, I wouldn't want my daughter to go through the same procedure. So, to answer your question, we must instill better values, have extramural activities, and also have a support structure. A support structure can go a long way, even if like it's a motivational speaker on every Monday or Tuesday at school. Motivational speaking, its whole process is to
Yeah.
plant a seed that
Yeah.
will grow to be prosperous in the future. So being exposed to greatness is something that these schools need to actually implement from now going forward.
So there is a high number of GBV cases that are taking place in South Africa.
Yeah.
Would you say alcohol is part of an influence to that?
I don't want to get in trouble, but definitely yes. 110%.
Yeah.
As I was saying, 110% of cases, whether is car wreckage, negligent driving on the highways, people get knocked by cars on the street randomly. GBV is one of them. I think it's the highest now. If we can eradicate alcohol from our society, why would you find three taverns situated
One
in one
place.
street in the hood? And when you actually look at the whole thing, there's not even one church. You must ask yourself, why is it that way? And then we won't prosper as black people. We don't like our community. We don't take each other seriously. You can't be 45 years old and still dancing to amapiano, holding your savanas on top of your head. What message are you conveying to your kids?
Yeah.
Understand? So, it hits home hard. The alcohol is so available. You'll be watching a soccer match on TV. When the ad break comes, you'll see Johnny Walker advert. What does that tell you? Everything is sponsored through alcohol. Alcohol is something that the devil is using to get its way and to get people away from God. Because now I remember this incident happened on the 30th of November. I was celebrating my nephew's birthday. So we went to Spur. There was a lady promoting Henneken. And she was like, can you please come this side that we have a new or whatever. I was like, I don't drink. She was so shocked. It was like I'm doing something out of the normal.
So the society has made alcohol to be
The
the
new
thing.
normal. Yeah.
Yes. So when another person comes and say, "I don't take alcohol,"
They
it's a
look at you
it's
weird.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like you're making yourself better than them.
That's the thing.
All right. To be honest, I'm happy that we're having such conversations of growth and conversations of the things that we are facing on daily basis, and we forgetting that we have a youth that is currently growing, and they'll be easily exposed to such.
Exactly.
So having such topics, they're there to help, they're there to build, they're there to prevent and send some awareness out there.
Yeah.
So, Sifiso, I would like to say thank you so much for joining us. It has been a journey for you, but I believe that you have grown. You have more knowledge now,
Yeah.
and you feel that you have actually achieved and passed all the obstacles and the challenges that you came across. And I'm wishing you a great journey on fatherhood, eh?
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining
Thank you
us.
very much.
Well, family, we're done for today. Sfiso did come and share his story. You might relate to his story, but before there's anything, I want to take this camera back to Sfiso because I believe there might be someone out there who'd want to share his story or who might need someone to talk to. So, Sfiso, tell them where they can find you. Your
So
contact numbers.
yeah, so let's start with Twitter. Sifiso Sifiso underscore Ganga GANCA. You'll see my name is Sci-Fi. Facebook name and surname. My email address is actually written on the screen. And yeah, man, you can if there's anyone who's struggling right now, either are we talking identity crisis, drug addiction, I'll be more than willing to assist because now I came to understanding that whatever struggles that we go through in life is not only for us to actually empower. We need to actually give these troubles to God Himself so He can be able to transform them into good. It says in Genesis 50, verse 20, so that evil has plotted so much evil against me, but God has actually turned it for good for everyone that's living on earth. So I urge everybody, especially the youth, to take their life seriously. Just trade with vigilant eyesight. Don't just now want to be in a part of a group discussion, or maybe rather be part of a circle that you don't see any prosperity through it. Examine yourself, know who God is, and all the best for the future.
Thank you so much, Sfiso.
Yeah.
Right, family, I think we're wrapping it up today, and thank you so much for joining us. So, as Usfiso said, if you feel like you want to speak to someone, you believe that you have a problem, you believe that you have that particular addiction, because sometimes it's much better to speak with a stranger than speaking with the people that are around you. So please feel free to contact Sfiso, and please do not forget to subscribe and hit that notification button, as we'll be posting our episodes on a weekly basis. Thank you so much for joining us. Igama ngoNomcebo. We out.